So in Fusina, Italy, I spent 2 delightful years, parts of 2 delightful years there. It's right outside of Venice, and but the one project there that I really want to talk about has to do with the lean manufacturing, because the plant won the European award from ALCOA for putting it in place and sustaining it. And what we did is really fundamentally simple, but as Michelangelo once said, engineering is simple, but the simple complex. Anyway, so you had this one department that was bringing a raw material, some kind of ore, the ore to this department, which is making ingots. And they decided to put lean manufacturing in place in these 2 departments, or 2 sections. And so what we did there, and a guy named Steve Hillig, who is a graduate of our ALCOA corporate graduate program, was in charge of lean manufacturing. So to develop the current situation, he brought together the workers, as we had at Addy, but this isn't a duh, folks. Lean manufacturing, and I know it well, has been put in often by people who just dropped a product on people. Now, lean manufacturing was developed by action research, by the workers, for instance, who work on, let's say, a problem with a wheel in a Toyota car, were asked to deal with that precise issue, and then to bring in whatever engineers that they needed to help them with it. But nevertheless, they were asked to do that, and of course their supervisor was involved, off and on, with that, but a critical player. And then, as time went by, they developed a lot of ways to go at it. One's called Kaizen, which is a problem-solving process. They developed their whole input-throughput thing, which is rather amazing. The amazing things. But they did it by action research, with the workers being critically involved. The first time I was at a plant in the United States, and they were going to do lean manufacturing, they said, come on down and be a part of the training. We got down there on the floor to identify the current situation. And there weren't any workers. It was the managers and supervisors who, of course, I mean, the expertise is with the workers. Why is that so complex? So right away then they started involving the workers. And so that's what we did. Because lean manufacturing isn't just a product. It is there are some products, but it's a process. And if you're going to sustain it, you need to involve workers in it. So if you want to drop a product on a worker, what do you need to do? Well, you need to have the worker involved in the current situation, and then you have the worker develop target plans, and you can say, and some other people have found success with this. You let the worker learn about it, and then to adopt, or more likely adapt it to their situation. Adapt because no 2 situations are exactly the same. With people, with the way the room's built, with anything. So the workers in the Fusina plant were taught a lot about lean manufacturing, but they were the ones that had to help adapt it to their situation and make plans. And they kept alive on this. They kept monitoring it. They would develop anew what's the current situation and what are our new targets, et cetera, et cetera. Also, in addition to that plant, even though I've seen success where this didn't happen, but they did have the advantage of, again, those T groups, we call it tough stuff training we do, where people really learn to deal with each other, be open about data, open about what's going on in conflict, and that was an additive that helped because the managers of both these sections had that same training and most of the workers. But the key thing, involve the experts, the people who work on it all the time. Don't turn it over to them though. That's the serious dilemma that's gotten a lot of plants in big trouble.
It sounds like either one or the other doesn't work. That if you get the managers and supervisors together, they have a high-level view and don't have the day-to-day view. They have the authority but not the expertise, sounds
Right.
like. You get the workers together, they actually have the day-to-day expertise but don't have the big view and the authority. So what I'm hearing
Exactly.
is that it's a polarity and each needs to play the appropriate role.
That's beautifully put, John. Yeah, and Ron Lippitt and Chick Young in 1960 developed what they called knowledge retrieval implication derivation. Big jargon, CRID. And what it has to do is who provides the knowledge? Well, whoever has it. If you know of a successful practice with lean, great. But who derives implications? The people who are going to make the decision. But again, not Xing out the supervisor. I mean, the supervisor is part of the people. Yeah, that's how they won that award.